Welcome back to the Building HVAC Science podcast, where it's our aim to surprise you sometimes with new information, which will help you become a better pro, HVAC or building performance pro. Today's episode was actually recorded live from the NCI Summit in 2025, September in Round Rock, Texas. Eric and I sat down with Winston Chi. He's a co-founder of NOSO Labs. Their website is NOSO, NOSO.SO. Clever, I think. And we explore how AI can augment HVAC technicians. He shared his path from working for a Google-backed AI-driven startup in food wholesale to building tools for the trades. His core thesis: most techs aren't well trained in sales or structured communication, yet that's precisely what turns field data into homeowner decisions. The goal is to streamline processes and eliminate friction, allowing techs to communicate clearly, follow up reliably, and close deals ethically. Now, their first mobile app tackles 3 pain points. 1, windshield time, that becomes prep time via short audio job briefs. You don't have to read anything, you can just listen. On-site conversations is the second way, or quick self-notes are recorded and auto-structured into summaries and proposals. And things can start moving into play before you even get back to the office. Plus, rebate and tax credit logic gets plugged in and stays current as the programs change. And then follow-ups are auto-scheduled and teed up as text or calls, so the opportunities don't just slip by because it was hard to make that note. I know what it's like. You can't always grasp everything. There's also a Service Manager dashboard, which can display the follow-up activity, and there's native integrations, Service Titan and House Call Pro, for example. Winston also talks about the massive brain of manuals, 15 million HVAC and water heater manuals that are searchable by photo and nameplate, so techs can look up specs quickly. NOSO has some early users in San Diego, some in New Jersey, and they offer a short trial, then annual contract. So listen to this podcast, see what he's got to say. This was also live streamed on the NCI from the NCI YouTube channel. We'll have it on our YouTube also. But take a look at the links for NOSO Labs, listen to this podcast, and see what you think about From Talk to Proposal, NOSO's take on ethical, measured sales.
Hey, we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Building HVAC Science podcast, live from NCI Summit 2025. Eric Kaiser here. We got Bill Spohn over there.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. Wave to the camera. And Winston Chi.
Yeah.
Am I getting that right? Okay, Winston. Yeah. Welcome. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We're here at Summit. We're having a good time. We're learning a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people here. We got a little over 200 contractors here, right? Yeah, so a little over 200 contractors here, attendees that are here to learn. We're talking about high performance HVAC, which is something that's near and dear to Bill's heart, my heart. We want everybody to do better. So yeah, we're going to talk to Winston a little bit about his product, learn a little bit about him.
But
first,
Eric and I do the Building HVAC Science podcast. This is unusual that we're using really someone else's equipment and event. So remember to look for us on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Building HVAC Science. Look it up. We have upwards of almost 250 episodes now.
Yeah.
So this is a little unique doing this through someone else's channel, but this is pretty cool. We're glad we got invited to do it.
And we drop a new episode live every Friday.
Right.
Or not live, but we drop a new episode every Friday.
Right.
And they are pre-recorded and edited to make us sound good and take out all of our ums and ahs, which you'll get it today live from Summit here in, where are we at? Round Rock, Texas.
Right.
Just outside Austin, Texas.
Yep, north of Austin. And I met Winston through another friend and we'll say important person in the industry, Brent Davidson. Brent is the creator, founder of the Heat Pump Summit. I'll put it in a plug, looking for that, usheatpumpsummit.com.
I think it's .com or .org.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one now.
So US Heat Pump Summit, it's coming up in November in Massachusetts. They're building a really great agenda of speakers. Know anyone who's speaking there, Eric?
I might know one or two people.
Yeah.
Will be. One of them is me. I'm presenting with Mr. Bryn Cooksey, the air doctor, just outside Detroit. And Bryn and I are talking about one of the hottest things in HVAC today, which is heat pumps.
Yes.
A lot of us love our heat pumps to be able to deliver better comfort into things like that. But enough about all that. Let's talk to Winston. Winston, are you having fun here?
Yeah, it's great. I like to be in person. Like what I just told Bill before, I had another podcast with Jeremy, and Jeremy was saying this is the first time he had a podcast in person. But understandable, it's Knoxville. I have to connect through Denver. So I'm assuming most people would think it's just easier to do online, but I like the in-person vibe.
Yeah, I mean, in person's a lot of fun. We do a lot of ours, of course, remotely because people are all over the country and the world, and it's hard to fly in, especially with the low budgets we have.
Yeah.
But once in a while, it's great to get together in person and do this kind of stuff too. So, Winston, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's some of your history and how did you arrive in the HVAC space?
A little bit background about myself, engineering background, and I dropped out from PhD in machine learning. Now people call it AI, but it's the same thing. And previously I built AI in the food wholesale space to help people to convert voicemail, email, photos, handwriting photos into purchase orders in the food industry. And I spent 4.5 years on it. It has over 1 billion transactions before we got acquired. And it was funded by Google. And that was last year. And after a few months, I'm super bored, but I'm still very into the trade because my family used to work in the trades. So it's kind of what I'm supposed to work on. But I want to work on in a different format. And I was chatting with so many people in the industry. Long story short, after a few months of chatting with maybe hundreds of people, I asked people the same question. What are something you want to pay $100K to solve in the industry? I got a lot of great responses from HVAC. And then I pulled over my co-founder, who was my PhD roommate. And he was leading the entire TikTok large language model team, AI team. And then we just jump on this and start working on this for like the last few months.
So this is still a pretty new venture for you then. It sounds like it's not something that's been out there for a while.
It's new, but I would say I've been thinking about for the last few years when I was building my previous company. I've been keep asking myself because I'm from Bay Area. In Bay Area, you have all kinds of choices. You can work on, say, I don't know, like the tag, right? Another Slack, for example. You can work on another blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
You can work on all kinds of things. And I've been keep asking myself, what make me feel excited? And for me, the most exciting thing is helping people with the real businesses on the ground and see how we can make their life improved. That excites me a lot for the last like 5-6 years when I'm working on this trades industry. And if you're looking at the States, right, there are 40 million people working the trades. And we're contributing 20% of the economy. But most people you don't have any presence online. Like, how do we make sure we can help those people is something I've been keep thinking about. And my philosophy is instead of using AI to replace people, why don't we help use AI to augment people? So we can get rid of the dirty work that we don't want to do, right? Like there's some work just not enjoyable. Some work we think we can do better. And I might research through the industries that I feel with a lot of the conversations, the business owner keep telling me my best salespeople are doing 4 million a year and technician doing 4 million a year. And my average technician are doing barely 200K. And how do I make sure I can make my average people performing not 200K? Like say, can we do 600K, 700K? Maybe not 4 million. Sometimes it's a combo of hardworking and give up, right? You can't really do that. So that's been something in my mind. I've been keep thinking about it. And even though it's new, I would say, I've combining all the thoughts and all the work I've done for the last startup. So we're moving really, really fast compared to my experience. Even though we work on it for a few months, I feel like if I were comparing to the trajectory I've done for my last startup, it would be probably 2-3 years in, just based on the velocity and the interaction, the connection I have with everybody. Like right now, even a few months in, I'm connecting with the most important people in our industry already here. So it's very different, I would say.
Tell us about the product. What does the product do? It's NOSO Labs.
Yeah.
What does the product actually do for the technicians?
From the top, we were saying, how do we help technicians to do more sales? So one thing we need to keep in mind, technicians are never trained to do sales. We train them how to use meters. We train them how to look at the equipments, but they are not really used to the most important piece of sales, which is how to talk and how to write in the format of sales, because that's the most important thing when you're customer facing when we're delivering the messages. And if you're looking at the workflow, the technician usually will need to make sure that, first of all, they drive to the site in the right time. Second is when they're in the home, they're interacting with the homeowner. How do you make sure everything is correct? Finally, when you deliver the proposal, is the proposal in the right format? And can you follow up afterwards?
So did you capture all the details?
We capture all the details.
Yeah.
So for that, the first piece of it, we call it like know the customers, meaning how do you leverage the drive time to convert the drive time to sales? Because windshield time 30% of the technician's daily work, and there's zero money generated except you're burning money through the gas, the hour you pay the technician. So how do we make sure you can have a proper job brief before they arrive? Is what we care the most. And then how do we make sure they can use the drive time to follow up with the customers is something we can use AI to help them figure it out. That's the first piece of it. Second piece, when they go interacting with the homeowner, how do we make sure we capture the entire conversation to convert into a well-formatted proposal so they know when they deliver the proposal to the homeowner, first, they capture every detail they discussed today. Because let's say you're a plumber, you're not going to forget. You're not going to remember what you talk about HVAC. Or if you're an HVAC technician, you're not going to remember electrician part. And that's a very common
or just an interruption comes up.
Yeah.
And your mind's taken elsewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe it's traffic or something like that. And it's like, oh, what was that thing I talked about? I missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
This sounds more to me like even beyond sales per se, which I know a lot of people like to focus on sales, but this sounds like perhaps a communication augmenter or communications education for technicians, which is, I'm going to say something that a lot of technicians struggle with is communications. And it's translating that data. And it's one of the superpowers of good technicians. And I'm going to be talking about this in a little bit in a session.
You are.
Actually, right after we get done with this. It's one of the superpowers of a really good technician is taking that data that you talked about that we get from those meters and everything else and translating it into something that's relatable to the homeowner or to the customer, the building owner, the decision maker that's going to say, hey, we want to either fix this product or we need to replace this product, and presenting that data in an understandable fashion. So is that kind of where you're going with this?
Yeah. There are multiple pieces of it, right? The final product, yes. When you present it to the homeowner, it's understandable format. For example, a technician, to be honest, I don't even understand what is like 200 PSI or 105 PSI mean. I just roughly know it's something I learned in school. But what does it even mean? When you present a proposal, eventually you're going to need to present in the dollar format. It's $10,000. And that's it. Like, what does it even mean? People may look at a 3-ton carrier and it's $10,000. But I have no idea what it is. Like, does it mean anything to my home value or it doesn't mean anything to my utility bill? If it means to my utility bill, how much am I going to save for the next 10 years? So homeowners cares about all of that. So can we do something to make the whole conversation easier to convey to the homeowner the value of the product you're providing? Because right now, a lot of technicians will just provide, like, this is 3 proposals, take it or leave it.
It's the name of a piece of equipment with a model number after it and a price. What does that do for me?
Yeah. So what's the value behind each one of those proposals? What does that value bring? Does it bring energy savings? Does it bring comfort? Does it bring fewer breakdowns, peace of mind?
Solve a problem.
Whatever that may be. So that's where the technician has to figure out what's the homeowner's problems, what's their pain point, and then make sure that we address that. So that's an interesting concept to bring AI and things like that into that space.
Yeah. And when it comes to proposal, one of the most important pieces we're also handling is the rebate. Because rebate, if you think about it, it's no one's responsibility. Is it a technician's job? No, I sold the job. Is it the service manager's job? No, I managing the technicians. Is it accountant's job? No, it's nothing related to the tax and whose job it is. But if you're looking at the company, it's going to be 10% of their revenue or 15% of their revenue. And if you're looking at the company EBITDA, you're doing around maybe 20% EBITDA, maybe less. So if you're keeping away 15% of your company revenue, not claiming it, the company will be in a very dire situation in terms of cash. So that's the part we need to use AI to automate it, because another big piece of it is government keep changing all of that in all different states. They change every few months. So how do we make sure you can have someone keep an eye on it? And it's not a humane job to monitor that.
No, it's a grind. I know a contractor in upstate New York who has one person full-time to manage rebates for all the quotes, and they have to stay up on everything. There's so much information, like you said, that changes, and they have to do correct by the customer. Otherwise, they're liable for an incorrect assessment.
Yeah, and there's literally, we have one customer and they stopped providing rebates. I was like, why do you do that? Like, oh, I lost money because of rebate. Like, what happened last year because Doge shut down one of the panel? I can no longer claim rebates. Therefore, I'm losing money for a few months. So I'm no longer doing rebates. But if you don't do rebates, the customer going to ask you, do you have rebates? Everybody provides. And the close rate going to drop a lot. So how do we make sure that the rebates going to be provided properly? And some good contractor even do that for the customers to claim the tax credit. So that is really like a huge incentive for a lot of contractors to do that and just help with all of that. So what I said in the very beginning, how do we make sure AI can do the work that nobody like to do, but also benefit in the business where we think a lot? Eventually, it always tie back to the topic I said, how do you 10x their sales? And it's a combo of how do you make sure that the ticket size is big enough, people willing to pay enough to be justified. You don't want to have unethical sales, but you have to make sure you provide the relevant information. And second is how do you make sure the close rate is right? And that falls into what I just mentioned, a well-presentable proposal and a well-prepared follow-up processes for while you're driving. Because the follow-up big time, you're not really doing anything. And you don't even remember what you've done yesterday morning, 10 a.m., which home you are in. The customer told you, hey, Bill, follow up tomorrow, like 2 p.m. Oh, okay. And then the service manager is not going to know.
Right.
And the technician is not going to remember. And then the customer, if you don't call them back, you will call somebody else and you lose the sales. So that's how we think through the whole thing. But the overall theme is there are going to be ways we can 10x average technician sales to maybe not the best technician's level, but will be a B plus. A level is doable using the AI to augment them.
So how does this work from like the inception of what is it? What do you install? What do you use? And who uses it?
It's a mobile app, first of all, because I've done a lot of ride-along. In the very beginning, we thought it should be in tablet. But when I'm doing the ride-along, I crawl into the attic. And I was like, oh, why you don't bring your tablet? It's like, can you bring your tablet? The technician asked me, like, what do you think? Is it possible? Because you need to go through the attic. There are a lot of dust. And if you leave your tablet in the attic, and it's so expensive for a good iPad Pro. Is it $2,000 something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They approach that price. Yeah.
If you start leaving tablets laying around in attics, I mean, a lot of us leave screwdrivers and pliers in attics, but if you leave a tablet in an attic, that's going to get expensive fast.
Yeah. When you go down from the attic, imagine the tablet fall. And that the business owner are going to be so annoyed if you keep doing that. So it's an app in both Android and iOS. People can download it.
So in your phone, typically, is where it's being used most of the time.
Yeah. So go back to the time frame. I've just mentioned it, right? It's really when they're in the truck, you can click the button. You're going to play the voice to tell you what you're going to encounter today, like the customer's history with the business owner or the technician.
So can you interact with it?
We will make it interactable in a few months.
So right now it's sort of like reading information you probably should have prepared yourself with, but taking advantage of the time that you're driving to listen to something related to the work.
It's helping the service manager to summarize what the job is supposed to be and something you should sell today. But I know the service manager is not going to call every job, but we can pull down their ERP history about analyzing all the photos, all the logs and everything, tell them what could be something wrong, and then remind them, sell the membership. That's the most important piece because I've done so many ride-alongs. I probably only see 2-3 times that the technician sell membership. Even though they're a new customer, everybody forget about membership, but it's such an important piece of the business. And then after they have the job brief, they can also utilize the follow-up feature, which is in a similar format. We're going to tell you what you've done yesterday on some of the format customer told you. We can schedule the format for you. If during the recording, say yesterday, customer told you, follow me up on Wednesday morning, we're going to schedule that on the Wednesday morning. So you'll pop up when you utilize the app. Wednesday morning, there will be something there. You can play the button again, tell you what you've done, what customer told you to follow up, and we compile the text message for you. So you just need to click the button and go out with your phone, or you can call them. There's a button right there. But instead of try to pull down the server titan, we get it right for you at the moment.
Is there some company database or a dashboard that somebody's looking at multiple people using this?
Yeah. The dashboard is for service manager.
Right.
Yeah, service manager cares about how many follow-up we've done. But based on my ride-along, I rarely see people doing follow-ups. The best technician does. But generally, the average technician, they rarely do it because it's so hard. They don't remember who is it. Like, they can't really just go to the server titan or House Call Pro to look at it. Who am I going to follow up yesterday? It's so difficult. But with our AI app, now they can just look at it.
So you mentioned there were multiple components to this. Is there another component? Is there a third one?
That's the drive time component, right?
Okay.
When it goes to the home, you record the whole conversation. That's the whole recording piece of it. So you can utilize the recording and transcribe that to a summary of what you've discussed, what you want to provide for today. And remember, nowadays, when technician, before they present the proposal, they usually spend another 5 minutes in the truck, call their service manager and put everything. We utilize that moment to convert the whole recording into some messages you should deliver before you talk to the homeowner.
What part are you recording here of this? Is this a conversation with the homeowner or?
Yeah, they can utilize it in whatever the way they want. It's just a recording piece, right? Sometimes we see them record the whole 2 hours with the homeowner. Sometimes we see them only use it for 10 minutes. They will talk to it, just summarize what they've done in the format of recording. So, because some of the homeowners don't want it to be recorded, but they can still use our phone to talk to it for 2 minutes of what they summarized, and then it will still populate with the job summary and then what they are providing to the homeowner.
How do the reminders come up? Like the reminder to say, join the maintenance program or something. When does that come up? How does it come up? How is the technician alerted to talk about that?
Oh, for that piece, it come up when they're driving. We just tell them beforehand,
Okay.
before they arrive at the home. Always talk about the membership. But in the proposal, if they ever talk about it in the whole conversation, during the job brief, we tell them about membership again. So people will just talk about membership to the homeowner.
Where and when are the proposals generated?
When they are about to wrap it up the call, they will usually go back to the truck. And then when they click stop recording, we populate everything into a proposal.
Is it then delivered by email to the customer as they're driving away or?
No. So right now it's a PDF in our app. They can send it as text to the homeowner. They can also populate it into Service Titan if they want.
So you have a Service Titan integration then?
Yeah.
Any other integrations with other ERPs?
House Call Pro as well.
House Call Pro as well? Okay.
Yeah. We also have House Call Pro founder and SVP at Service Titan investing in us. So it's very native.
Gotcha. Wanted to ask that question there while you were going through things.
Yeah.
So sometimes different businesses give different types of proposals, like they speak their native language. Does the language model learn how a business talks to their customers?
I mean, first of all, we have a fine-tuned model that can sit on top of whatever the business format it is. So we can always tweak a little bit based on different businesses. And we understand every business are running subtly differently. So for that, the proposal part is very easy configuration. We can configure for any business for the right format they want. I would say using AI is much, much easier compared to the older days. Because remember, older days when I'm building all the website and all that, you have to almost configure the whole thing, customized for one business. But now it's just a few lines of code and you customize the entire thing.
So when the technician gets this proposal out of the app, is it a good idea for them to review that before they send it to make sure that everything on there we'll say is technically accurate or something wasn't missed? Maybe there was a conversation that didn't get recorded, that a certain component of that needs to be added in there or something like that.
We want to be the augment of the technician. We don't want to replace their job. So an ideal workflow is technicians use the 5 minutes in the truck or the time they call their service manager, really review the whole thing. Because what I mentioned in the very beginning, the issue on a lot of the better, best proposal nowadays is it's few line item. What is it? Like you have to spend some time to explain with the homeowner why you should choose this $3,000 repair versus another $7,000 or $10,000 replacement. And different homeowner has different priorities. Some homeowner may want to sell the home in 2-3 years. And what does it mean to the home value? You have to think in their perspective to understand what it is. So our proposal will include all those details with proper graphs. And the technical detail we've evaluated very thoroughly. It should be correct based on what we've done. We've spent a lot of time. And kudos to my co-founder. He has over 1,300 AI paper citations. So fully qualified to be a professor in top colleges. So a lot of the calculation I don't understand, but he's very in on all of that. But in order to make sure the technician can understand it, we remove a lot of the math calculation and leave the graphs. So it's much easier for the technician and homeowner to digest. But we can guarantee that it's correct.
So there's another aspect, I think you mentioned manuals.
So interestingly, that's how we started actually. So we collected all the manuals of all the HVAC equipments and the water heater.
What does all mean? What's the number for all?
It's in total 15 million manuals.
That's a ton of manuals. Are you talking just residential products here? Or are we going into commercial products? And how old are you going on those?
It's combo of both. So it's a scraping work as long as it's existing somewhere on the internet. Could be in some Reddit channel, could be in their official website. We scrape it. So you can go as old as some hardly to read format to some of the most modern ones. I think that the upside of this, usually I think that the issue is not how old it is how new it is. What we see the trouble from a lot of people when they're doing inspection is when there's new model coming out of it, especially some Korean brands. People have no idea of how to use it because especially for experienced technician, you have no problem doing you probably encounter that. Mm-hmm. But a new version coming out of Japan, coming out of Korea, and it's set up so different. And that is the part that creates a lot of troubles. So that's how we started. We collected 15 million manuals and we fine-tune a large language model based on it. So you can snap a photo, you can talk to the model. It will spit out all the specs about different equipments.
So snap a photo of the nameplate and then it does the lookup and it finds that model in your database.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a fine-tuned version of ChatGPT, customized for HVAC industry and also customized for our use case, which is we prefer talk and photos because you're so busy, you can't really type. So it's much easier for us to use it.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to stop and type things out when your hands are full of dirt or something like that. It can be kind of easy just to grab a phone and talk to it or say, hey, snap a picture, look at this item, search this up, give me the technical information about this piece of equipment right here.
So you mentioned ride-alongs. That means you have customers that are using the product now.
Yeah. We have a few customers already. Okay. Even though we're new, we have customers in San Diego, Florida, San Jose, Denver, all different weird cities.
Okay.
Yeah, we also have customers in New Jersey and Michigan.
How are customers finding you? Or you finding them?
In the very beginning, I'm a no-name person, so it's more customer finding me. I'm seeing more customers try to talk to me nowadays.
Okay.
In the very beginning, it was me just go up on everybody in LinkedIn, but everybody's so nice in the HVAC space. People are so open to chat. I'm really shocked because from my previous startup, it's so hard.
Good. I'm glad we have that reputation. Is there anything you need from our audience, listeners? Is there anything they could do to help you?
I'm curious to learn. Usually, like what I think most helpful thing is what do they concerned about? Like what will be something that they're willing to change, but they see that is so difficult to change their businesses. And is anything more than that AI could help? But like what I said, my overall goal is to help the technician to do more sales, get more things done. Anything fall into that category is something I'm very interested in to hear because eventually we want to be the source of truth. Right now, we're still integrating with ServiceTitan and everybody. We also have non-integration versions, also works. So I'm trying to see how do we get to there in the long term.
How would someone get started? Are there any prerequisites? Business size or?
We hope they're using HouseCall Pro or ServiceTitan already. Okay. And for us, integration is really simple. It's like 1 minute, pretty much.
Okay.
If it's HouseCall Pro, we go there, generate a key, plug in our system, they get everything. We send everybody an invitation through text. That's it. HouseCall Pro, ServiceTitan is even easier. They give us a tenant ID, putting in our app, and then they can enable that on their side. That's it. That's what I said. It's pretty easy to use. I'm assuming if people are already using Housecore Pro or Certified and they're already at some business scale, the way we work is that we give people certain period of trial, could be 2 weeks, for free. And if they don't like it, they don't need to renew with us. Afterwards, we do a 1-year contract.
So is this something they can find, like, I'm not even familiar, is there a Service Titan marketplace and a Housecore Pro marketplace they'll find it? Or do they immediately go find the NOSO app in their
They
platform?
can go to App Store, search NOSO. It will pop up first. We got a really good SEO.
Good.
So people can just find it. Even if you go to Google, search NOSO Labs, it will come up first. And our website is noso.so, noso. So super easy to remember. But usually love to chat with them. Go to our website and book a demo with me. I can easily break it down for them.
Okay. And you told me before what NOSO stands for. Do you want to tell our audience what it stands for?
So NOSO just means not a software. I know it's a software, right? But our goal is eventually, can we do something even bigger to augment human beings to do their work? Because I've been doing ride-alongs, and imagine you're a technician, maybe about to retire, and then now you're doing water heater replacement in the home. That is on the 3rd floor. There's no elevator. What do? You carry the elevator to the 3rd floor. And that's some of my ride-along. And I feel really bad. Like, why do we have to still do this? Like, carry something so heavy up there. And the worst piece is not you carried it up. You have to bring the old one down.
Gravity helps with that, though.
Yeah, but there's going to be some remaining water in the water heater.
Right.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So they're a part of the job. I feel like we can do more than software. But ideally, right now, I want to start with the software.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is the manuals part of the app? Do they stand alone, or is that part of the subscription?
It's part of the subscription.
Okay.
Yeah, manual. That's what I said in the very beginning. We started with the manual piece, and we do more ride-alongs. We feel there are more needs on the overall conversations. In the very beginning, we think, technician, they go to trade school, they probably do not know every models, every equipment.
Right.
I think that's definitely a pain point. But when we do more about it, we figured out the communication and the writing is actually an even bigger issue. So how do we make sure we solve that? And then when we do even more with the businesses, people are telling me that they're not closing enough deals. Okay, now what can help you with more deals? Then it's a proposal. And it's the follow-ups. And when you have the follow-up, you care about the proposal. So what comes to the proposal is how do you have a proper narrative, whether you pay rebate or not. That's how we come up with everything.
So your product makes it very easy to have a tight process.
Yeah.
It takes perhaps the tedious nature of a tight process. It offloads it to the software.
Yeah.
Which is not a software, by the way.
Yeah.
Software that's not a software that it tightens up all the holes and all the gaps in a process.
Yeah, I just think it's so boring that a lot of software nowadays kind of try to fit people into some of the windows, some of the buttons. And I think, again, it's not humane for us to change our mentality, because humans are supposed to be creative, do the job in whatever the way we want. But if you try to fit all the process into another form, another button, and hidden all the features around it, I just hate it. So that's what I said in the next few months. We will, based on all the features we've released, we will combine those in the more AI companion mode, so people can just talk to it without really remembering where is that form. Should I go there, click another form, and that's another proposal? It's just boring. You can talk to it. We're going to bring it up, the format, the manual, the proposal for the technician, and the summary. They can just talk to it.
Nice.
Very cool.
We're running short on time.
We're going to start running low on time here. I've got to get to a room to go present a session.
Right. And you're at the DJ mixer board there, which I'm not going to.
There's a lot of buttons over here. No, you can't see them all, but there's a lot of buttons over here. Thanks, Adam Muffich, for setting all this up and putting it all together. You did a nice job, and it's actually really easy to run this here.
So to close this out, is there a place someone can experience this, like in a demo, a video, some kind of testimonial to learn more?
Our testimonial is on our website on NOSO, NOSO.so. You can see one of our technicians, first try, he made $700 more because of our app. And you can also book a demo directly on the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious, any final thoughts for everybody out there watching and listening, or that may be watching this in the future?
I'm really curious what the world going to be if I can help more people out of it. Would it be more competitive? Would it be less competitive? But I do hope that when more people are utilizing it, we can help people to make their life easier. Because a lot of the time, a lot of blame are coming from information falling through the crack. So how do we make sure everybody's life is easier? That's a world I hope it is. And it's all, everybody's losing in certain ways, like homeowner not getting the best service, the technician not getting more sales, the business owner unhappy on the close rate. And there are a lot of unethical sales out there, just try to do the sales not in the right way. I do hope we can utilize this, turn the industry, the ethical businesses into a much better format and be competitive with a lot of the big businesses.
Help them go beyond survival to thriving.
Yeah, that's what I hope the business could be.
Great.
Very nice. Winston, thank you very much for coming on. We're going to go ahead and cut this off now and say goodbye to everybody. So wave goodbye to everybody.
See y'all later.
Thanks.
Y'all have a good day now. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Building HVAC Science podcast. There's a lot of other great trade-related resources and influencers out there, including HVAC Our School, HVAC Shop Talk, Stephen Reardon, HVAC Reefer Guide, Tool Pros, Service Business Mastery, Quality HVAC, HVAC Overtime, HVAC Our Videos, the HVAC Grapevine, HomeDiagnosis.tv, AC Service Tech, Measure Quick, and HVA Chicks. Take a look at some of the resources they offer. Some of the topics we discuss in this podcast require technical training for proper interpretation or safe execution. So if you're a trained pro, you can proceed immediately. If you're not, please consult with and hire a trained pro. The Building HVAC Science podcast is a production of TrueTech Tools Limited. And full disclosure, I'm the owner of TrueTech, and the opinions expressed are those of my guests, my co-host, or myself, depending on who is speaking, of course. And if you're in the market for any tools or test instruments mentioned in our podcast or anything that comes to mind, take a look at what TrueTech Tools carries, TrueTechTools.com, and you can use the offer code HVACBS for a nice discount. Hope you caught a couple of the great quotes, clips in this podcast. One of them is, windshield time is measured at 30% of a tech's day, and Winston aims to turn that into sales prep time. And then proposals should translate specs into homeowner value, comfort, savings, safety, air quality, better choices. I think there's some things here you can align with. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And if you'd like to give us feedback, shoot it out to marketing@truetechtools.com. I want to thank you for listening to this podcast and hope to have you back next time listening to Building HVAC Science. Take care.